All that in the next half hour. With us for the duration, author Douglas Murray. He's the director of the Centre for Social Cohesion. Hope you're going to be cohesive this morning.
Make a change on this programme.
Be a first. Let's turn our eyes to events in Libya. They're not really going so well for the rebels now, are they?
No, they're really not, Andrew. You're absolutely right. This morning, troops loyal to Colonel Gaddafi appear to be pushing back the opposition in central Libya. A BBC producer has now confirmed that the town of Bin Jawad has fallen to pro-government forces. 30 miles to the east, residents have reported that many are leaving the town of Ras Lanuf. So against that backdrop, and also the extraordinary events of Britain reaching out to Libya, what kind of picture are we seeing unfold? Let's start off, first of all, with, is Libya lost? Is Gaddafi winning?
It's too early to tell. I mean, the signs are that he's going to hold on as long as he can. His son said so, he said so, and this is the beginning, I think, of a very protracted battle. This country and other countries have a big problem here, which is who then in the meantime you speak to. And this effort to go in and try to find someone to speak to has rather ended in ignominy.
Well, what an extraordinary attempt. I mean, I'll just read you the response, just as we were coming on air, in fact, number 10, their official spokesman has spoken about this. We've been very clear that we're seeking to establish contact with opposition figures, they say, will continue to do so. They weren't going to be drawn into operational aspects, they've said, but they do say the operation was done in the normal way, that is, the Foreign Secretary taking the decision, then discussing with the Prime Minister for days the necessity of getting a team in. It's our intention to send in a further team in due course to better understand the position on the ground. Why send them in the dead of night with a black ops, and then get summarily turfed out?
And also, of course, I mean, just in recent days, William Hague and others have been very keen to sort of stress that Britain is getting involved in it and that we're not, as it were, just sitting on the sidelines. One of the problems often that new governments have is what they do with their toys. And the toy, as it were, that governments like talking about and, you know, being in control of most, the special forces. A friend of mine once said that going to cabinet and speaking to them about these things, really you never see a bigger gleam in the eye of cabinet ministers than when they can talk about the SAS and special operations and so on. But this one has, of course, ended very badly.
But, I mean, it does beg the question, whose hand is on the tiller here? You have sort of a muscular statement, then a weakened statement, you have a statement of intent, then an embarrassment.
But I have to say, this is one of the signs of sort of Britain's new role in the world. You know, we cut our army, we cut our defence forces, we can barely evacuate our own people from Libya, and then we think that we have some huge role in the country or the region's future. We're playing a game that we're no longer equipped to play.
Stay with us, Doug. There's so much to talk about, and again, Libya leading our thoughts this morning.
You could just have turned up on the dock at Benghazi and said, take me to your leader.
It does seem odd, but no doubt we'll find out more as the days progress. It is time, though, for us to progress to our daily quiz. The question for today is all about the American actor and well-known hellraiser, an idol of yours, I think, Charlie Sheen, Andrew. The question today...
Idol?
Which British dignitary does Mr. Sheen apparently want to hang out with? Is it? Well, it should be. Well, it isn't Andrew. Prince Andrew? Is it B, Boris Johnson? Is it C, Charles Kennedy? Or is it D, Harriet Harman? At the end of the show, Douglas...
Well, I think we know what it's not.
He's going to give us the correct answer. If you want to send your comments about any of today's stories, just get emailing daily.politics@bbc.co.uk. That's where we are, and we'll be reading out some of your thoughts a little later in the programme.
But would any of them want to hang out with him?
I wouldn't, would you?
No, definitely not. I saw the Piers Morgan interview.
Good grief.
No more.
Decisions right now.
It would be a huge reputational blow for the coalition.
Absolutely.
If HSBC was to move even part of its operation to Hong Kong.
And something of a financial blow as well. I mean,
52,000 people, they pay
more
over
than
$1 billion
a
in
year in
taxes.
tax and so on. I mean, but I agree. I mean, these reports have to be taken with a pinch of salt. I mean, one of the Sunday papers yesterday spoke to an HSBC source who said that it was more likely than not that they were going to leave and so on. So, I mean, I think the government obviously has to weigh up the fact that, you know, they will have to give HSBC some assurances at the same time as making sure they don't completely cave in to threats like this.
All right, we'll leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
With him,
So he should go?
I think he should go.
He should follow in
He's
his
an
own
embarrassment. He's an embarrassment to the royal family. He actually damages the royal
Douglas
family.
Murray.
You know, we quoted Brendan Byrne. I mean, Alan Bennett said in his play on George III that he has the Prince of Wales saying, to be Prince of Wales is not a position, it's a predicament. And I often think the same about all of the members of the royal family, and the Duke of York's no different. They're in this terrible position of trying to pay their way, trying to find their way in the world. And unfortunately, as in this case, continually coming against, you know, the ordinary rigours and analyses.
No one forces them to have dinner with Libyan gun runners.
No, absolutely, no, absolutely. But the problem is that at the same time they try to be above politics and also part of politics.
And they're criticised when they are above.
I told you we should have moved on to Prince Andrew earlier. Just time before we go to find out the answer to our quiz. The question was, which British dignitary does Charlie Sheen want to hang out with? Who is it?
I just know it's not
Prince
Harriet
Andrew?
Harman.
It's not Prince Andrew, or me, or Harriet Harman. Of course, it is Boris Johnson. Everybody wants to hang out with Boris. Except maybe his wife. Anyway. That's it for today. Big thanks to Douglas for being our guest of the day. Thank you to all of our guests. Sorry we ran out of time.
Yeah.
We'll be back at noon tomorrow.